delete the legacy knowledge department? Okay, a former employer has decided to shoot themselves in the foot with a bazooka. I thought I'd share it here, so you can laugh at them too. In a nutshell, the business built its own in-house software which is designed to cover all aspects of the business. From invoicing, tracking stock, creating reports, semi-automating direct debit billing, and virtually everything else, 1,000 sub-areas. As such, the business ended up with 3 IT departments. One was more hardware issues, basic IT issues. There was the medium IT department who could fix small issues within specific sub-areas of the software, and the legacy team who worked on the rawest base level of the software and had kept it functioning for over 20 years. In an effort to cut costs, the senior management decided that the legacy team were no longer required as they were creating a whole new software anyway, would be ditching the old one within a year or so. In doing so, they also insisted that the large office they occupied was completely emptied. This included several huge filing cabinets of paperwork, compromising dozens of core manuals, and countless hundreds of up-to-date how-to-fix documentation pieces, as well as earlier superseded documents they could refer back to. The legacy team sent an email to the seniors basically saying, "Are you sure?" To which they eventually received a terse email back specifically stating to destroy all paperwork. They were also ordered to delete all digital files to free up a rather substantial amount of space on the shared drive, and wipe their computers back to factory settings. So, it was all shredded, the files erased totally, the computers wiped. The team removed every trace of their existence as ordered, and left for greener pastures. It's been 3 months, and there was recently a power outage which has broken something in the rebooted system. The company can no longer add items into stock, which means invoicing won't work as the system reads as "can't sell what we don't have." In turn, this means there's no invoices for the system to bill. So, it's back to pen, paper, and shared Excel sheets to keep track of stock, manually typing invoices into a template, and having to manually check every payment received against paper invoices. All of which is resulting in massive amounts of overtime required to keep up with demand. The company has reached out to the legacy team, but they've all said without the manuals they were ordered to destroy or erase, they're not sure how to fix it. The new system is still at least a year out. On the positive side, 2 of the senior managers have a nice large office to share sit-in, entitled "Asshole in the Parking Lot." This happened earlier today. It was short and sweet. Was in one of the more crowded malls in my city where people go to, especially on a Sunday with fam and everything. The mall is attached to a nice 5-star hotel, apartment complex, ballroom, etc. You get the idea. Getting a parking spot is a bitch, especially on Sundays, more so than Saturdays. So I'm done with my weekly lunch and shopping round with parents and got into the car. I literally just got half of my body into the driver's seat before closing the door, and this asshole came up from the corner and flashed his lights on me to signal that he wants the damn spot. It's an underground parking lot, so him flashing made it even brighter than it'll be outside. I was bloody annoyed and mumbled to myself. Parents asked me, "Why did that guy do that? You're annoyed that damned old coot flashed me. He wants out spot, mom." Oh hell no, he ain't getting our spot. He can wait. So here starts the waiting game where the old coot was ABT 5 meters away with his signal lights waiting for our spot while we're chilling in the car. Nail in the coffin was me exiting the car with my walk back towards the mall. Dude saw me and started turning his head for other spaces. Went away within 15 seconds. OFC, I walked back to the car and got ready to move. Another car was immediately waiting for our spot, and this guy politely waited for our spot. No flashing, no nothing. Went away happily and shared a laugh with my parents. And there ends the family-sanctioned Sunday dose of petty revenge. My mom's principal got a book straight between the eyes. My mom was a public school teacher for 35 years teaching HS art. She was twice National Art Teacher of the Year, helping earn 2-3 kids full rides art college scholarships yearly, and totally self-funding all her classes and materials through writing in and applying for grant money. The school's administration never cared all her efforts or awards, and only made her life more difficult year in and year out. The administrators would load all the arts classes with 30-35 kids per class, well over the average and manageable class size, and place 3-5 kids with special needs into every one of her classes. They also did this to all of the other arts programs like music, choir, band, etc. instead of hiring more special education teachers and aides to teach and work with the special needs kids. My mom would constantly complain to her principal that she was being treated as basically a babysitter for these kids, while having to manage and teach an already far too large class. She was entirely ignored and told it wasn't her problem. To top it off, the principal started coming through her class on near daily basis to check in on her, but it was really to patronize her and rile up the special needs kids by giving them candy. The principal was doing this so often it began really upsetting my mom. It would create a massive disruption, and all the kids would be energized and worked up for the rest of her classes. Well, one special needs girl in her class was also often violent, and when she didn't get her way she would get physical with other students and even aides. She had also become extremely conditioned by the principal to expect candy every time she saw her, and did not take no for an answer. Well, one day the principal came into the room without candy, and when the girl with special needs didn't get her candy she was pissed and threw a massive tantrum. My mom told her principal she's created this issue and now she's going to have to handle it. The principal was a small older lady and she tried to tell this girl she was going to call her mother if she didn't calm down. And then boom. The girl had grabbed one of my mom's super heavy art history books off the desk and threw it end over end, cracking the principal between the eyes. She was out cold for a couple of minutes. My mom got the security officer to escort the girl to office and the principal ended up going to the ER. My mom said that was the last time the principal came through with candy or checked in on her class. The next year the principal told her over summer break she was going to have half her art classes cut as they needed her to also teach Spanish, and she was a certified Spanish teacher as well. She ended up transferring a county over to a SCOP HS that was for kids that accelerated in the arts, ended up getting a fat raise and retired there years later.
Want me to cook for my own appreciation event? Gotta make sure I don't violate the overtime policy. Years ago, I worked in a satellite office of a large department, 300 people in a giant corporation. Half of the staff had salary benefits while my half was hourly contractors. The department was run by two vindictive women who were wholly responsible for the toxic environment. They loved talking about how much they were like sisters. I loved pointing out that when you have sisters like them, one of them ends up under Dorothy's house. Like most companies, they were constantly blowing smoke up everyone's ass about how much we are valued, and they showed that by inviting us to an appreciation potluck. There were going to be surprises and delicious treats from our co-workers. Of course, the other shoe inevitably dropped. The company was providing only soft drinks, as alcohol on company property is forbidden except when it isn't. The only food at this appreciation potluck was what employees were expected to make, nothing store-bought. Share some love with us. They couldn't put it in writing, but it got around that failing to cook something would be noted. It's tough when the company won't give you a budget, but it's tone-deaf and insulting to demand people give their own time to prop up the illusion the company cares when half your staff doesn't get health insurance. The participation non-mandate came straight from the top, and I wanted them thoroughly, inescapably embarrassed. 2 days before the potluck, while on a call with my boss, I dropped the live grenade in her lap. Boss. Oh, before we go, I wanted to ask why you declined my Outlook invite for tomorrow afternoon. What's up? Me, oh, I need to leave early tomorrow to cook for the potluck since I assume you can't authorize overtime for it.
Boss, overtime?
Me, my recipe takes an hour or so to cook and the actual potluck is another 2 after business hours, so I was going to leave 3 hours early to keep myself at 40 hours this week. Boss, wait, you expect to get paid for cooking? Me, half the staff is hourly contractors. Does this for-profit company expect 150 contractors to donate 3 or more hours of their personal time for their own appreciation meal? Boss. Oh my god. Nobody thought of how this looks. She was asking herself more than me, or nobody expected to be called on it. Boss, but who's getting called on it? Oh. Size. You're at your desk where everyone can hear me, correct? Boss, I have to go. I did feel bad about dragging her into it. She had enough on her plate, but I knew she'd just toss the grenade up the chain to people who get paid to know better. Our satellite office wasn't privy to many details, but I'm told my call sent people panicked and scurrying around at the mothership, consuming a day and a half of a lot of people's time. Mission accomplished. In the end, they moved the potluck to lunchtime during paid time for contractors and bought our office pizzas. Only our office. We were, however, instructed not to be eating the pizza when we Skyped in because everyone else would get upset. And yes, all the satellite offices were Skyping in like this was the Dunder Mifflin Infinity launch.
We're just strangers now, but I did cry when I achieved something I thought you'd be proud of and couldn't tell you. We're just strangers now, but I sometimes still take pictures of things you'd like, or things that remind me of you, forgetting I can't send them anymore. We're just strangers now, but I still seem to find you everywhere I go and everywhere I look, in the littlest of things, or in the most random people. We're just strangers now, but I always find myself wondering what you're up to, who you're with, or how you're doing. We're just strangers now, but sometimes I'll write text messages to you like you'll read them one day. We're just strangers now, but actually I've realized that you're not just a stranger to me. Not even a little bit, not even at all. That actually, even if I wished, even if I tried, I'll always know you. And I'm sorry. I kept trying to get back together with you. You're probably tired of me trying and trying, but I meant it when I said that I wanted to spend the rest of my life with you, despite our age. Call it naivety, but I don't think that's true, because I don't think I'll ever be able to get over you. And to be honest, neither do I want to. I'm certain I found my person, and even though now we're just strangers to you, you'll always be my stranger. With lots of love, always and forever.